Introduction. In Gnostic traditions, the Demiurge is often seen as the flawed creator of the material world, a being that traps human souls in a prison of illusion. This malevolent figure, referred to by various names like Yaldabaoth, governs the physical realm while obscuring true spiritual enlightenment. However, in the teachings of the Misanthropic Luciferian Order, MLO, this concept takes on a more pointed role. The MLO's interpretation of the Demiurge not only reflects Gnostic disdain for this false god but extends to paint it as the ultimate oppressor, deliberately engineering humanity's bondage in a cosmic order that is both illusory and imprisoning. This article delves into the MLO's specific doctrines regarding the Demiurge, comparing them to other Gnostic and Luciferian perspectives. The MLO's view of the Demiurge. The MLO's cosmology positions the Demiurge as an absolute antagonist, the ultimate figure of oppression that keeps humanity shackled to ignorance. Within their framework, the Demiurge is not merely a bumbling creator but a calculated, tyrannical force designed to limit human potential. The MLO views this being as a cosmic jailer, one who sustains the illusion of material reality to blind humanity to their true, transcendent nature. This interpretation extends beyond the classical Gnostic notion of the Demiurge being a lesser, ignorant god and instead portrays it as an active agent of control. According to the MLO, the material universe is the Demiurge's dominion, a carefully crafted prison meant to obscure the paths to higher spiritual truth. Humanity, in the MLO's view, is not merely a passive victim but is subjected to a constant assault on consciousness, where every facet of life, from societal structures to religious doctrines, is shaped to reinforce the Demiurge's control. Unlike other traditions that might see the Demiurge's dominion as accidental or out of ignorance, the MLO posits a deliberate design. Every mechanism of life is set to perpetuate this cosmic enslavement. Comparative analysis with Gnostic and Luciferian perspectives. Traditional Gnostic thought, especially as outlined in texts like the Apocryphon of John, views the Demiurge as a flawed and ignorant being who mistakenly believes itself to be the supreme deity. It creates the material world in ignorance, and while this world traps souls, the Demiurge's actions are not out of malice but out of blindness. In contrast, the MLO introduces an element of conscious malevolence, asserting that the Demiurge is fully aware of its actions and the suffering it causes. Luciferian groups often interpret the Demiurge differently, seeing it more as a symbol of oppressive authority or false religious dogma. In some strains of Luciferianism, the Demiurge represents the archons of control, political, religious, or societal institutions that keep humanity from awakening to its true potential. While these groups also emphasize liberation from false structures, they often do so through a path of self-deification, where Lucifer, as the bringer of light, becomes the liberating figure. The MLO, however, diverges by casting Lucifer not simply as a liberator but as a figure of rebellion against the very cosmic order imposed by the Demiurge. Their approach is deeply nihilistic, emphasizing the need to shatter the Demiurge's control not just over individual consciousness but over the entire structure of reality. In doing so, they reject not only earthly authorities but the cosmic hierarchy itself, advocating for a transcendence that goes beyond typical self-deification models. Humanity's imprisonment in the MLO doctrine. In MLO teachings, humanity is portrayed as inherently trapped in the Demiurge's web. The material world is a facade, a distraction from the true spiritual struggle that lies beyond. However, unlike traditional Gnostic paths that offer a more passive route to gnosis through knowledge and enlightenment, the MLO advocates a more confrontational approach. Liberation is not merely a matter of gaining awareness but requires active rebellion against the very foundations of existence. The imprisonment of humanity, as described by the MLO, is comprehensive. Every aspect of life is seen as a component of the Demiurge's design. The physical body, desires, emotions, and even societal roles are viewed as chains binding the individual to the false reality crafted by the Demiurge. This conception is akin to Gnostic dualism but with an added layer of intensity. The MLO's Demiurge is not only the creator of the material realm but also the architect of all forms of psychological and spiritual imprisonment. The key difference lies in the MLO's belief that rebellion against this force must be enacted both internally and externally. The process of liberation, therefore, involves a radical transformation of the self and a rejection of all that upholds the Demiurge's false order. Comparisons to other Gnostic groups. Whereas some Gnostic groups see the world as a temporary stage in the soul's journey, the MLO adopts a much darker perspective. The world, under the Demiurge's rule, is not merely flawed but actively hostile to human potential. Other Gnostic sects, like the Valentinians, held a somewhat more optimistic view of human redemption through Gnosis. In their teachings, while the material world is imperfect, salvation is accessible through inner knowledge and the intervention of divine beings. In contrast, the MLO sees no such benevolent force. There are no divine saviors waiting to guide humanity out of the prison. Instead, the MLO teaches that individuals must summon the strength to rebel against the system, harnessing the energies of chaos to dismantle the Demiurge's creation. In this, they align somewhat with Luciferian interpretations that emphasize personal empowerment but go further by emphasizing the need for an external, destructive rebellion against cosmic order. Conclusion. The MLO's view of the Demiurge as the ultimate oppressor presents a far more radical stance than traditional Gnostic or Luciferian interpretations. Their doctrine paints a picture of deliberate imprisonment, where the material world is not merely an accident of creation but a carefully constructed prison designed to keep humanity in chains. This stark interpretation reflects the MLO's broader nihilistic philosophy, where liberation comes not through passive knowledge but through active rebellion against the very structure of reality itself. The Demiurge, in the MLO's view, must not only be understood but destroyed, offering a unique perspective on an ancient esoteric concept.